everyone. I'm Tiffany Wong with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan will celebrate its National Day on Friday. Ahead of the occasion, the country's overseas representative offices are holding their own celebrations, not just to mark the day, but also to highlight Taiwan's presence on the global stage. Cadence Quaranto reports.
Taiwan's national anthem sung loudly in Washington, D.C. As Taiwan's representative office there, its de facto embassy in the U.S., hosts a celebration for Taiwan's National Day, an event that Taiwan's representative to the U.S. used to declare the country's importance on the global stage. At a time when some are questioning the U.S.'s commitment to Taiwan's defense under U.S. President Donald Trump, he also emphasized U.S. support for Taiwan at all levels of government.
Beyond Capitol Hill, support for Taiwan resonates across the United States. 30 state legislatures have passed resolutions affirming closer economic cooperation with Taiwan, championing our international participation, and rejecting the distortions of China's diplomatic pressure. These actions speak volumes about the depth and breadth of American friendship with Taiwan.
Taiwan does not have official relations with the U.S., but it does maintain unofficial ties. Watching on were several influential figures from Capitol Hill, including former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the chair of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party.
We cannot afford complacency, and our message must remain clear. America's commitment to peace, stability, and Taiwan's self-determination is bipartisan and unwavering.
This is just one of many such celebratory events held across the U.S. and around the world, largely organized by Taiwan's representative offices. This is the scene in New York. And in New Delhi and Bangkok. Across many cities, Taiwan's democracy was brought up again and again, and its strength against authoritarianism, a reference to its neighbor, China, which claims Taiwan and has not ruled out the use of force to bring it under its control. This in London.
We are here to show our respect for Taiwan's history and unique identity, your peaceful, democratic evolution, and your right to continue to live as you are, determining your own future.
Taiwan will also hold its own National Day celebration on October 10th, a large annual ceremony that will gather nearly 200 foreign dignitaries, including from Latin America, the Caribbean, Europe, and other parts of Asia, and President Lai Ching-te is set to speak. So, as Taiwan celebrates this special day, it's also using it as an opportunity to emphasize its connections to other nations and its never-ending fight for recognition and respect on the world stage. Justin Wu and Cadence Quaranto for TaiwanPlus.
Those National Day celebrations in Washington were missing a key figure this year, the chair of AIT, the U.S.'s de facto embassy in Taipei. That's because the position has been vacant for over half a year. To break down what that may mean for U.S.-Taiwan relations, Cadence is back with this report.
Here, U.S. Congress members and representatives of Taiwan's diplomatic allies are among hundreds of guests gathered for an annual celebration of Taiwan's National Day in Washington, D.C., but with one noticeable absence. The top official at the U.S.'s de facto Taiwan embassy, its U.S.-based chair, who often attends this event, is missing. That's because right now, the American Institute in Taiwan, or AIT, has no chair. Its previous chair, Laura Rosenberger, exited the post in January as U.S. President Donald Trump started his second term. AIT kept the move low-key, only confirming her departure after local media spotted that she was suddenly listed on the AIT website as a former chair, and that her profile picture and name had been removed from the AIT chair account on X. Now, over 8 months later, the role still has not been filled. TaiwanPlus spoke with multiple people familiar with the matter, including current and former officials from both Taiwan and the U.S., most of whom requested anonymity, to understand more about what this may mean. We learned from at least 2 sources that conversations about a new AIT chair are ongoing, with veteran diplomat Brent Christensen floated as a possibility. Christensen, who headed the AIT's Taipei office from 2018 to 2021, did not respond to a request for comment on these conversations. Some feel filling this role is important. As the top official at AIT, the chair is an intermediary between the U.S. and Taiwan. The two sides don't have official diplomatic relations, cut off in 1979 when the U.S. established relations with China, but they do maintain unofficial ties, which the AIT chair helps maintain.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome again. It's wonderful to see you here.
For example, they meet with Taiwanese officials when they visit the U.S.
When you had someone at a senior level come from Taiwan, they want to be shown respect. And having that chairman at that senior level who can say, oh, I talked to the Secretary of State and he asked me to say thank you for something you had done for him a year ago. You know, technically it's not important, but yeah, it really is important.
The chair also helps formulate and execute U.S. policy on Taiwan, participating in U.S. government meetings. When the post is empty, Keegan says it's possible their seat could be filled with someone with less specific expertise on the country.
When it comes to Taiwan-specific issues, they can't say, oh yeah, I was talking to Ray Green in Taipei on the phone yesterday, and we were trying to hash this out, and here's what we heard. That doesn't happen. And that's a weakness, particularly on an issue as sensitive as Taiwan.
Other former U.S. diplomats say filling the role may be an important signal for U.S.-Taiwan relations.
I'm certain it's important to have the chair. I think, you know, the staff who are actually at the AIT missions, you know, in Kaohsiung and in Taipei are doing their job very, very well. But I do think it would be appropriate and important as at least a signal of the importance of the relationship between Taiwan and the United States that the chair position be filled, you know, as soon as possible.
But there are others who view the role as less critical. One former AIT official called the position primarily ceremonial, emphasizing that its responsibilities can now be performed by others. Though the presence of an AIT chair could still be seen as symbolic, the official said, it has little impact on AIT's operations or U.S. policy on Taiwan. A former Taiwan diplomat also pointed out that on central U.S.-Taiwan issues this year, like trade talks between the two sides, U.S. and Taiwanese negotiators were able to meet directly and did not need the AIT chair as an intermediary. Chair vacancies are not necessarily unusual, Keegan said, during periods of transition between U.S. administrations. But this does appear to be the longest gap in recent years. The longest ever vacancy was around 2 years, between 2004 and 2006, but records show there was a designated acting chair during that time. Keegan and other sources say the holdup in appointing a new chair may be due to multiple parts of the U.S. government needing to agree on a candidate, which may take some time. It's also part of a wider trend, as the Trump administration has moved slowly on appointing many senior-level diplomatic positions, many of which remain open. This could have to do with understaffing in some offices, as well as other factors.
It's also because this administration wants to go through a far more intensive political loyalty vetting. Okay? And that means not only are you only getting candidates from one party, you're only getting candidates from one sliver of one party. And that means you don't have a lot of candidates.
This also comes as the Trump administration has several times appeared to undercut relations with Taiwan during trade negotiations with China. And as Trump says, he plans to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping in person later this month. AIT did not respond to a request for comment. In a statement, a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, which is responsible for recommending a candidate to the AIT Board of Trustees, said it has no announcements at this time regarding the chair position, but stressed that the U.S.'s position on Taiwan has not changed, remaining committed to its one China policy and preserving stability in the Taiwan Strait. The U.S. Senate did also just approve dozens of political appointees, including diplomatic posts, signaling some movement on that front. But for the U.S.'s de facto embassy in Taiwan, it's still unclear how long the wait will be to get its top spot filled. James Lin and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
Nvidia's plan for a new office in Taipei has hit a snag: the land rights for its proposed location. The city government is pitching a smaller plot nearby as other cities raise their hands. But the central government says it has stepped in to help and that the world's largest company has given them a deadline. Chris Gorin reports.
Nvidia's planned regional HQ building touches down at its proposed Taipei location, the highlight of a keynote speech at this year's Computex trade show. But when it comes to the real-life landing site for this ship, Taipei, we've had a problem.
Construction at the firm's preferred location here in the city's northern Shilin-Beitou district has stalled over land rights. The plot's current contract owner, insurance giant Shinkong, reportedly wants more than $460 million to hand this plot over to Nvidia. Now that's over $300 million more than they've paid so far. And that has some city councilors asking, who will pay?
台北市民可以接受吗？土地被人家占着不用，然后3年4年后可以涨价100亿，要台北市来赎身。那他如果不是跟台北市拿，那他就是跟辉达拿咯。
The dispute is over 2 plots of land, known as T17 and 18, at a city science park occupied by Shinkong. Given the land rights dispute, the city is now suggesting this nearby alternative plot, but it's smaller and would likely require buying up adjacent private land to meet Nvidia's needs.
T17、18到现在为止是没有办法继续谈下去。那原则上他们现在会就12来做研究，我们会来这个帮他做整合，那依相关的法令来办理。
A new regional headquarters from the world's largest company with its Taiwan-born CEO would be a prize for any city. And now Taiwan's central government is stepping in to assist Nvidia, saying other cities are still on the table.
我想辉达当然是有他自己的这个考量嘛，哈。那现在他当然现在还在关心的就是北四科这块地嘛。但是据我们了解，辉达也跟我们表示说，他也不排除其他的地方了。
Cities across the country have already raised their hands, from New Taipei City in the north to Kaohsiung and Tainan in the south.
我们特别选了一个交通非常方便的捷运机场线的 A9 站的旁边，这块腹地都是国有跟私有地，所以这个地的取得没有问题。
如果在台北有碰到这个阻碍的话，也许换一条路到高雄也是一个不错的一个选择。
Nvidia has asked the central government to provide a list of suitable locations by October 24th. Until then, the ship may have to remain in orbit. Devin Tsai and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
Chip giant TSMC released its latest revenue report on Thursday, hitting new records. Its third quarter revenue was nearly $32.5 billion, up around 30% from the same period last year. The market optimism is likely to continue into TSMC's upcoming shareholders meeting next week. Meanwhile, other leading Taiwanese tech companies, including Wistron, Quanta Computer, and Pegatron, are also benefiting from the global AI boom and the release of the latest iPhone. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of Taiwan's double 10-day celebration rehearsal featuring the Brave Eagle jet in its first ever National Day performance. I'm Tiffany Wong. Take care and see you next time.
Playoff baseball is heating up, and every pitch and swing counts. Basketball, volleyball, and football seasons are here, bringing fast breaks, powerful spikes, and thrilling goals. From the locker room to the stands, from key plays to game-changing moments, we've got you covered. Action, highlights, and stories. Game on Taiwan, your home for sports.